Hi, Rose Ward, Stampersdelight.com. Thank you for tuning in to my first Did You Know series. So what I chose for my first Did You Know series is we all love our blends. Let me just show you those. Okay, but if you don't have the blends and you like the effect, I'm going to show you a way to use your regular markers to get that same effect until you are able to get all the blends. Or if you have the blends and you need a color that maybe we don't sell yet. So what I'm going to do for this video is I'm just going to take a piece of cardstock, fold it in half. This is actually 4 by 8. Okay, and then I'm going to eventually layer it onto 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, but for right now, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to bring in the flowers from the Climbing Roses set, which I will be showcasing Facebook Live on Friday morning at 7 a.m., and then it'll be back on YouTube. But what I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to ink this up. I shouldn't bang. And I'm going to ink this way in the corners. And then I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to do the same thing over here, off to the side. So it just gets the edges. Okay, that was with my Memento ink. Okay, I'm going to bring in my markers. So what I've done is I've picked out a light and a dark yellow. So I picked out the Daffodil Delight and the Pineapple Punch. So I'm going to take my marker, the Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to add some dark spots in here. Just like you would do with your blends. Okay. So you get that light, that dark effect. Then I'm going to bring in my Pineapple Punch, and I'm just going to blend with that. So I get that light and dark yellow. Now, the nice thing about this, you might be asking, well, why not just buy the blends? Which, of course, I have. But we don't have the Pineapple Punch yet, but we do have a light and dark Daffodil Delight. Well, there's 2 reasons. Maybe you want to do this like I'm doing it right now, and you don't want it to bleed through the cardstock. Remember, the Stampin' blends are alcohol-based, so they do bleed through cardstock. Our regular markers do not. So again, I'm just coloring this all up. And then I'm going to bring it a little bit closer so you can see the dark and the light blending. Okay. It's very subtle, but that's what you want. Now, this is just my test piece so I can show you the different colors. So now I'm going to bring in on this side, I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo. I had a trouble with that one. And Blushing Bride. Okay, shouldn't do this so late at night, I guess. All right, so for that one, I'm going to do the same thing with the Flirty Flamingo. I'm just going to add some dark spots in here. Just flick some color in there. Maybe a little bit here. A little bit here. I just want to be able to show you 2 different colors. And thank you for tuning in to my first Did You Know? I'm going to be doing these whenever I think of something that you may not know. Or something you may know that I just found out. And then I'm just going to take the Blushing Bride, and I'm just going to blend that. You do have to be a little gentle so it doesn't bleed. StazOn would work with these also. But since I was working with my blends just before this, I decided just to use the Memento. And let me just finish this up a little bit so you can see this. I'm going to bring that up so you can see the pink. And then what I did is I also tried the old olive with the Pear Pizzazz. I think I need a new old olive. And for the green, I just put it right where it would be like the vein of the leaf. Let's do this one so you can see it a little better since the flower is already colored. And then I blended it with the Pear Pizzazz. You could use Granny Apple Green too, a brighter one. And I'm going to bring that green up so you can see that. And you can see the green with the little darker in the middle. So it's just another way of using your markers and getting the blends effect without the blends if you don't have them, or if you have a particular color you want to play with and the blends don't come in those colors yet. Let me show you the finished card in the yellow that I did. And what I did again was I just took a half a sheet of cardstock and trimmed it down a little bit, and then I put it on a quarter sheet of the pineapple punch. Very bright, but if you look real close, you can see the light and dark effect. And then if I wanted to, I could also add a little Wink of Stella, just to give it a little shimmer. But I hope you enjoyed my little tip on Did You Know? And thank you for tuning in. Have a great evening. And happy stamping. Bye.